Welcome to Supernova. Today, we're going to dive into the important topic of ethical decision-making in business. As entrepreneurs and business leaders, it's crucial for us to understand the principles and best practices of ethical decision-making. So, let's get started. Principle number 1. Identify and define the ethical dilemma. The first step in ethical decision-making is recognizing that there is an ethical dilemma. This may involve situations where there are conflicting values, interests, or moral principles at play. In business, ethical dilemmas can arise in various forms, such as conflicts of interest, unequal treatment of employees, environmental concerns, or issues related to financial integrity. It's essential to be vigilant and identify these ethical dilemmas to ensure they are properly addressed. Identifying and defining the ethical dilemma means recognizing that there is a situation where there are conflicting values, interests, or moral principles at play. It's important to be able to identify when an ethical issue arises in a business context. In a business setting, ethical dilemmas can arise in various forms. For example, it could be a situation where there's a conflict of interest, where personal or financial interests of an individual or a group might compromise the ethical decision-making process. It could also be a situation where employees are treated unfairly or unequally, posing an ethical challenge. Ethical dilemmas can also arise in areas such as environmental sustainability, where businesses may face decisions that have ethical implications for the environment. Additionally, issues related to financial integrity, such as financial reporting accuracy or transparency, can also present ethical dilemmas in a business context. It's crucial to proactively identify and define ethical dilemmas in business, rather than ignoring or avoiding them. Recognizing ethical issues early on allows businesses to address them in a responsible and ethical manner, preventing potential negative consequences down the line. Identifying and defining the ethical dilemma is the crucial first step in ethical decision-making. It helps businesses recognize potential ethical issues and lays the foundation for addressing them responsibly and ethically. By being proactive in identifying and defining ethical dilemmas, businesses can uphold their ethical standards, foster trust, and make sound ethical decisions. Principle number 2. Gather relevant information. Once the ethical dilemma is identified, the next step is to gather all the relevant information related to the situation. This may involve conducting research, seeking advice from experts, or consulting with stakeholders. Gathering relevant information is crucial in making informed decisions. It helps to understand the different perspectives, facts, and potential consequences of the decision. Relying on accurate and reliable information is essential to make ethical choices that align with the values and principles of the business. Gathering relevant information is a critical step in ethical decision-making. It involves obtaining all the necessary facts, data, and information related to the ethical dilemma at hand. This step is essential to make informed and thoughtful decisions that consider all relevant factors. When it comes to gathering information, it's essential to cast a wide net and collect data from diverse sources and perspectives. This includes seeking input from stakeholders who may be affected by the decision, consulting experts in the field, conducting research, and reviewing relevant policies, laws, and regulations. It's important to ensure that the information collected is reliable, accurate, and unbiased, to make informed decisions. In addition to collecting data, it's crucial to consider both quantitative and qualitative information. Quantitative data, such as financial data, statistics, and measurable facts, provide objective insights. Qualitative data, such as opinions, perspectives, and subjective feedback, offer valuable insights into the human element of the decision. Both types of information should be carefully considered to have a holistic understanding of the ethical dilemma. As you gather relevant information, it's crucial to assess the ethical implications and consequences of different options. Consider the potential impact of each option on stakeholders, including employees, customers, suppliers, shareholders, and the community. Think about the short-term and long-term consequences of each option and evaluate them based on ethical principles, values, and the organization's code of conduct. Principle number 3. Evaluate options and consequences. Once all the relevant information is gathered, the next step is to evaluate the available options and the potential consequences. This may involve weighing the pros and cons, considering short-term and long-term impacts, and assessing the risks and benefits. Ethical decision-making requires careful evaluation of the available options and the potential consequences. It's important to consider the ethical implications of each option and choose the one that aligns with the business's values and ethical standards. Evaluating the short-term and long-term impacts and potential risks and benefits is critical to making responsible and ethical decisions. After gathering relevant information, the next step in ethical decision-making is to evaluate the options and their potential consequences. This step involves carefully analyzing each option and considering the potential ethical implications and outcomes associated with each choice. When evaluating options, it's important to consider all available options and their pros and cons. This includes carefully analyzing the advantages and disadvantages of each option, weighing their potential risks and benefits, and considering their alignment with ethical principles, values, and the organization's code of conduct. It's crucial to thoroughly assess the ethical implications of each option and their potential consequences on various stakeholders. Ethical decision-making requires considering both short-term and long-term consequences of each option. While some options may seem appealing in the short term, they may have negative long-term consequences. It's important to think beyond immediate gains and losses and consider the potential impacts of each option over the long run. Evaluating options from a holistic and long-term perspective is key to making ethical decisions in business. Principle number 4. Consider stakeholders' perspectives. Ethical decision-making involves considering the perspectives and interests of all stakeholders who may be affected by the decision. This includes employees, customers, shareholders, suppliers, and the broader community. Stakeholders play a crucial role in any business, and their perspectives and interests should be taken into account when making ethical decisions. Considering how the decision may impact different stakeholders and striving for a solution that is fair and balanced is essential to ensure ethical decision-making in business. When making ethical decisions in business, it's crucial to take into account the perspectives of all relevant stakeholders. This includes considering the interests, values, and potential impacts of the decision on various stakeholders, such as employees, customers, suppliers, shareholders, and the wider community. Identifying and prioritizing stakeholders is a critical step in ethical decision-making. It's important to identify all relevant stakeholders who may be affected by the decision and consider their perspectives. This includes understanding their interests, concerns, and values, and prioritizing their well-being and rights in the decision-making process. Taking a comprehensive approach to stakeholder analysis helps ensure that decisions are not biased towards a select few, but rather take into account the broader impact on all stakeholders involved. Empathy and perspective-taking are essential skills in considering stakeholders' perspectives. It's important to put yourself in the shoes of each stakeholder and try to understand their viewpoints, needs, and concerns. This requires active listening, open-mindedness, and genuine consideration of diverse perspectives. Engaging in empathy and perspective-taking helps in gaining a deeper understanding of stakeholders' perspectives and making more informed and ethical decisions. Principle number 5. Apply ethical theories and principles. Ethical decision-making can be guided by various ethical theories and principles, such as utilitarianism, deontology, and virtue ethics. Ethical theories and principles provide frameworks that can help guide our decision-making process in a systematic and principled manner. They provide us with a set of guidelines and criteria to evaluate the ethical implications of our decisions and actions. Let's take a closer look at how we can apply ethical theories and principles in the context of business decision-making. Understanding and selecting appropriate ethical theories and principles is a crucial step in applying them to business decision-making. Ethical theories, such as utilitarianism, deontology, virtue ethics, and others, provide different perspectives on what is considered ethical and how we should approach decision-making. It's important to familiarize ourselves with these theories and select the ones that align with our values, the specific context of the decision, and the stakeholders involved. Let's take a look at how we can apply ethical theories and principles to real-life business scenarios. For example, if we are faced with a decision that involves maximizing overall happiness or well-being of all stakeholders, we can apply utilitarianism, which suggests choosing the option that produces the greatest amount of good for the greatest number of people. On the other hand, if we are faced with a decision that involves upholding certain moral duties or principles, we can apply deontology, which suggests choosing the option that aligns with our moral obligations, regardless of the consequences. It's important to consider the specific context of the decision and the stakeholders involved when applying ethical theories and principles. Each decision is unique and may require different ethical considerations based on factors such as the nature of the business, the industry, the cultural context, and the stakeholders' interests. It's important to thoroughly analyze the situation and consider how different ethical theories and principles may apply or conflict with each other in the specific context of the decision. Thanks for watching. Subscribe to our channel for more video like this. We will see you in another one.